Well, howdy. What a pleasant surprise. You look fabulous. Well, I wasn't expecting you. Be honest, I wasn't ready for this. Let's go. Good to see you, but kinda not good to see you at the same time. I'm sorry. You don't come barging into my life. You don't come barging into my life like that. That's disrespectful, but I'm gonna let it go because we haven't seen each other in such a long time. Well, now you're being rude. I am not being rude. I'm just telling you, you gotta knock first. I knocked. You know what I mean? You gotta knock first. You gotta let me know that you're coming. It's been a while. 10 years? 10 years? Maybe 10 years. What are you saying? You're not happy to see me? Mixed feelings, maybe? Why? Why mixed feelings? Well, you're a difficult person, okay? That's clear. I do not have time or space for difficult people, and you're being difficult right now. I'm not being difficult, you're being difficult. No, I am saying that when you show up at my doorstep after 10 years, because we haven't talked, because things got tense, and you just expect me to embrace you. I don't expect you to embrace me with open arms. No open arms, and interrupting me. I'm interrupting you because you're wrong, and telling me I'm wrong. Then I have mixed feelings. Yeah, because you're not clear about your life. What? You're not clear about why you were here. So anybody who walks into your life and has that clarity, you envy him. We have not seen each other in 10 years, and you are already starting this bullshit. No, but seriously, you need to fucking dial it down and dial it back if we're gonna have an interaction here at all, because after what happened between us, what? What happened? After what happened between us, I just knew that I wasn't going to allow people like you in my life again. I'm sorry. You just, back then, and you could have probably possibly changed. I don't know if you're different. No, I'm not different. I'm the same. I thought that you had changed. Well, yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I have changed. I don't tolerate this shit. You know what? You get what you tolerate, man. And if I'm exposing myself to someone who's just argumentative all the time and just governed by all these principles and not a people person, I am a people person. And you're not. You are so fucking not a people person. You don't even, you have a concept of the people person that you are, but you are a principle person. There are two types of people in the world. There are more than two types of people. No, there are two types. Motherfucker. Principle person, people person. You are a principle person, I'm a people person, and I do not subject myself to the wrath of the principle person. The principle person is not a wrathful person. No, I'm going to tell you, anybody who sits there and just lives according to principles all the time, right? It shuts down the younger brother with principles all the time is a wrathful person. Oh, okay. Who's the one right now who's getting in the wrath right now? I'm getting in the wrath because I think you're just full of shit, and I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out on your shit. Talking shit. See, the people person is open and free because their heart is unguarded and they can get along with people. But that also means that when they're feeling certain emotions, they let them happen. They don't suppress and keep their emotions locked up, right? Under watch. They don't do that. Their emotions are ready and available. They wear their heart on their sleeve. They're people persons. So they're ready to interact and be real. Be real, bro. Be real. You come to my doorstep after 10 years. You haven't communicated with me in 10 years, which was fine actually, but now you're here. You are the same jackass that you were 10 years ago. You were still a principled person. And that's what I was telling you 10 years ago. You got to make the decision to be more people-oriented. You don't have to be all people person all the time like me. You can mix it up. You can be principle and people, principle people, principle people. I do that too. Principles are really important to me, and that's what I had to learn from dealing with a principle person. Yeah, well, that's what we do. We teach people to live principled lives, to be on the straight and narrow. Yeah, I get that, but it becomes oppressive, and it is wrathful. See, brother, you got wrath inside there, and it's hiding out. It's cloaked by the principles. And what I learned after our falling out was that I needed to adopt some principles. Yeah, you do. About principled people. Oh yeah, okay. Funny. No, I'm serious. I devised principles about principled people. I'm not amused. Where did you get that idea from? I got it from you. Because I realized that if I tolerated you, that's what I would get. I would get you in my life through the emails and the text messages and the phone calls. I'm always trying to breathe your principles down my neck. So you get that? And here's what's interesting. How many people have shut you out of their lives? Now, there are people who are going to be cool with all your principles, and you're just kind of going to dominate that way. And they want you to lord over them with their principles because you're like their savior, you're their guide, their mentor, but I'm not that. I'm your little brother. Okay? So, you don't get to do that with me when we're adults. Maybe when we're kids, you can get away with it because I don't know shit, and you're older. But when we're adults, I've got to put up the boundary. Because a principled person who doesn't have the people person going on will colonize that shit. You colonize that shit with your principles because you just think your morality is going to trump everything in existence. And you don't care about my emotional response to your principles. Listen, bro, that's what it is. That's facts. You know? So I don't know why you're here. Well, Mom died. That's why I'm here. When did she die? Last week. So that's why you're here. That's why I'm here. Alright, so you want to come in? No, I don't. You're supposed to say yes. I don't want to come in. I gotta go tell everybody else. You told me first. Told you first. So how do you feel about that? About Mom dying? I don't have any feelings about it. Oh, that's just retarded, man. Come on. Can we give up this charade just for this 5 fucking minutes? She's your mom. She made her choices. Yeah. Everybody makes their choices. That's no reason to suspend grief for losing your mom. I live according to my principles. I do not have time to grieve. It doesn't make sense for me to grieve. What good does it do to grieve? There's nothing there for me. It's just a superfluous emotion for something which I have no control. Why would I do that? You people, you know, you're weak. You're gonna spend the next week grieving over your dead mother. What is that gonna give you? It's not gonna give me anything. Is it gonna be a natural, authentic feeling that you could control if you had more principles? Man, a mom just died, and you're still fucking lecturing me on principles. You don't understand how crazy that is. No. I understand that you think it's crazy. But I have my life under control. You do not. You're gonna go and wail and gnash your teeth and tear your hair out and get, drunk? Cry? Really? Is that what life is about now for the next week? 2 weeks? Well, what are you gonna do? I'm going to tell our siblings. Okay, so why are you gonna tell them? Because they deserve to know that their mother passed away. Okay, so you're doing that based on principles, I'm supposing. Yes, of course I'm doing those based on principle. What are you gonna do after you're done with that? What business is that of yours? What does a person do if someone is governed by principles their whole life? What are they doing with their time? You don't gravitate toward people, that much is obvious, and only a certain type of person gravitates towards you. That's right. I have a lot of people that gravitate toward me. Yeah, because you have this authoritarian energy to you, and they just flock to you like sheep. They know a principled person when they see him. And have you ever considered that your lack of principles is actually problematic outside your immediate sphere of influence? That when you walk around as a human being not governed by principles, governed by your feelings or whatever it is, or being a people person, as you say, that you are affecting the entire world. Yeah, I am. I'm totally affecting the entire world, man. Totally. I'm making it a better place. No, you are making it a pathetic place because people like you, and I'm sorry that I have to say this, so you're not sorry, you don't have any kind of, you're not a people person, you're not sorry. I am sorry to say this. Dispense with the charade. You're not sorry to hurt my feelings. I am, because I know how easily your feelings are hurt. Oh, you're a dick. No, you're a dick. That's so low and below the belt. Case in point, look what you're demonstrating now. You're getting an emotionally reactive response to my statement. You don't need to do that. But because you wear your emotions on your sleeve and you get triggered, you get triggered very. I do not get. You are triggered right now. I can see it. You're triggered. I'm not. I'm perfectly fine. Because you get triggered, I'm not. You are. I'm not. Because you get so triggered, I'm not triggered. My mom just died. I may be emotional, but I am not triggered by your words. Fine. Because you're so emotional about mom, you're emotional. You are emotional. You don't have control over your life. And that affects everybody, because then you're sending out the signal to everybody. Hey, it's okay to not have a clue. I don't have a clue. Not if you're living a life without principles. You don't have a clue. I do have some principles. One of my principles is not to gaslight other people, for example, which is something that you're a master at doing, is gaslighting. You gaslight human beings. I do not gaslight them. If I take your meaning correctly, I don't gaslight people. What I do is illustrate their ignorance. I shine it, reflect it back to them. I show them. I demonstrate that if they live a life without principles, they're going to suffer and take everybody down with them. They're going to take the world down with them. And look at you. Look at you. I don't think that you probably haven't done anything significant with your life since we last talked 10 years ago. Did you really just say that? Did you really just... Do you have no idea? You have no idea how fucking insensitive you are. You are so dissociated from your own wrath, and now from your feelings, your grief. No wrath here, no grief. You're suppressing it, man. You are suppressing it. I'm afraid I'm not. Any normal human being would feel grief if their mother died. That is precisely my point. I'm not a normal human being. Yeah, I know you're not. No, I'm really not. See, what you regard as normal is... childish. How kind of you to pause and take a deep breath, as if you were concerned about hurting my feelings. I've got to walk. Gingerly around you. Carefully, for sure. You're gonna get offended. Because you don't have control over yourself like I have control over myself. I think that you do have control over yourself, but you have control over yourself because you have cut yourself off from being a human. You're just like an automaton. You're just on this programming. You don't have control so much as you have just completely excised your humanity. And therefore you don't have to control yourself because there's nothing to control. It's gone. Yes. We finally agree. That makes me happy. So you have self-mastery according to principles because you've simply cut out all this human stuff. Now that's what you call human stuff, but for me it's just superfluous stuff. It's like cutting out cancerous cells, right? It's like you have a garden and you want it to thrive, so you remove the weeds. And you use principles for keeping that garden clean and healthy. And then someone asks you, well, how did you create such a thriving garden? And you say, I took out the weeds. And they're like, oh, how horrible of you. You're so inhuman. How could you do that? Weeds are natural. Weeds are part of it. And I said, no, the weeds are choking the other plants. They've got to go. Oh my God, you're not a people person. You're not a weed person. Do you see that? Do you see the drama that I just created? I was just like you. Now I'm a dramatic person. You have always been a dramatic person. But listen, I want you to know something. Why can't you be expansive enough and encompassing enough with your principles to accept someone like me? I accept you. Yeah, but not on my terms. That's right. I don't accept you on your terms. I accept you on my terms. But the me that you accept is not the me that I am. It's your whole concept of me. Yes, that's true. I have my principles and they arrange how I look at you. I don't look at you just, without a filter. I've always got the filter. It's the filter of my principles. Well, why don't you just take a chance? Why don't you take a chance and just put those filters to the side for a moment and just really see me for who I am? I'm sorry, little brother, that's not possible because we're always looking through our filters. How do you know that? Every human being is looking through their filters. Yeah, but how do you know that for 100% certainty? Can you really prove that? How do you know that I'm not looking at you with no filter right now? Well, you have clearly shown me throughout our little chat that you are looking at me as an asshole who is very principled and oppressive with his principles. Yeah, that's true. So how could you look at me now without all of that? As you ask that I do the same, that I look at you without the filters. Well, I'm going to say that maybe you could look at me on principle without the filters. And I could look at you as a people person without the filters. But those are already the filters, you see. I can't ever get out of being a principle person. And you won't get out of being a people person. Those are the filters. When I look at you through my filters, I see a people person who's very lost in emotions. That's right. And when I look through my filter as a people person, you're a jackass who doesn't know how to respect other human beings. I understand that. You'll always be confused. But not to you. And I'll always be an asshole. But not to me.